Nice.
Right. My name's Andrew Walls.
Hey, I'm Merrick Walder.
We're going to be doing non-sustainable farming, its solutions, and its considerations. This is going to be a presentation on how society can build a more sustainable farming environment using green resources and technology available in today. So agricultural is the lifeblood of humans' sustenance and allows the world to support over 8 billion people. Without it, modern civilization would be impossible and the world would crumble as we know it if all farms shut down today. With it being such a valuable resource, we must make sure that it is not only good for society, but also beneficial to the earth that is already facing an upward climb with numerous environmental factors degrading its state. Today, the United States Department of Agriculture claims that agriculture in the United States produces over 10% of U.S. greenhouse emissions. This needs to change and fast. Climate change is just one of the factors that contribute to world health, though, and this presentation will cover four methods to reduce farming impact as a whole.
All right. So, with all this farming impact, we have to think outside of the box on ways that we can change farming. Something that's becoming very popular is vertical farming, and that's exactly what it sounds like. You just stack these plants on top of each other, uh, and this is typically indoors in a controlled environment that is controlling the climate and like the temperature, the moisture, and there's a lot of benefits to vertical farming. It's more efficient than land-based farming. Studies have shown that 1 acre of vertical farming can produce 30 times more crops than an acre of crops in a land-based farm. And because these plants are stacked on top of each other, it means that it's going to be more efficient land-based, and it's also going to take less water because the water can trickle down, and also less pesticides. And also because there's a controlled environment, there's year-round crop production because the temperature is controlled and it's not like it is outside. So they're able to control and allow these same temperature, moisture go on all year. And it's also safe from extreme weather because it's indoors. And they're often implemented in areas where it could be like in a city area in a worn down warehouse. They can be refurbished into a a vertical farm, and that just makes it much more space efficient because it's not taking up as much space as these land-based farms. However, there are some problems, because of the climate control, it takes up lots of energy. Uh, so it is very expensive to start and maintain a vertical farm. And then pesticide use. This is a very big problem we're facing. Pesticides are chemicals that are designed to kill things that pose threats to crop yields, such as bugs or weeds. Um, well, the one pro of pesticide use is short-term elimination of pests. However, this is the cons really overtake the pros because eventually that short-term use is going to be no good because these pesticides, the pests are going to become resistant to the pesticides, and they're going to become more difficult to kill. And there's a significant amount of environmental damage because it doesn't just kill the pests, it kills all kinds of plants and animals in the ecosystem that we're not even trying to kill. Some ways to reduce this pesticide use is to implement integrated pest management strategies, which include crop rotation and also beneficial species introduction that will reduce the amount of pests without killing off the rest of the ecosystem. And also a way that any person who's not a farmer, can um, reduce the use of pesticide is to buy organic. And that basically just means that you're supporting farms that don't use pesticides or at least minimize it in their farming strategies.
So AI utilization. So what is AI? AI is a computational process that mimics human intelligence by performing tasks such as learning, problem solving, and communicating. Why this is relevant to the farming industry. Farming industry becomes a more complex task as we need more resources for the world. So AI is basically managing how to use labor cost, how to better use resources for farmers. It's becoming a resource for them to use so that they're not having to manage, they're not having to use as much labor, makes everything a lot quicker. How we can implement this. Farmers can work directly with software companies to utilize artificial intelligence technologies in their farms. Such companies include Blue River Technology and IBM, both really big companies. IBM is in the news a lot for various things. Blue River Technology, that's their logo there on the right, has done wonders for farmers around the globe. The challenges with AI is that while AI can make a reasonable impact on farming impact globally, it requires a large amount of energy to operate. companies like ChatGPT, OpenAI is having a huge problem with how much energy they're utilizing with how much power it needs. So it could be a back end thing that may actually producing more greenhouse gases than it's saving. So that may be something to look at, maybe more efficiency that's needed there for it to be actual usable. Robotics. So many robotic implementations are intertwined with AI function due to farming being a variable field that requires complex thinking and versatile situational awareness. Robotics mixed with other sustainable technologies can be effectively used to reduce global emissions and local environment harm. China is one of these examples. They're implementing robotic farm technologies such as hybrid autonomous tractors that could potentially optimize the driving routes and save on fuel, therefore carbon emissions. To implement, we looked to the tech startup Ironox and use them as a case study. So Ironox was able to utilize AI and advanced robotics to produce a machine that is effectively able to run an entire hydroponic farm by itself. It is able to yield about 30 times what that of traditional farms of similar scale by using less things like pesticides, water, and fertilizers. The potential problems there are much like AI robotics are incredibly difficult to implement as they could require high startup costs, intense development, and could potentially decrease the amount of jobs available in the agricultural industry. And sorry for the few spelling typos there. All right, these are works cited, and thank you very much.
Thanks.